Welcome to today's live from Ayodhya Kanda. Happy Ekadashi to everyone, those of you who are fasting today, and I wish you all a very happy and blissful day ahead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are at the moment on Ayodhya Kanda, and yesterday we finished reading when Ram was given this in these instructions that by Kekai, that she had asked for the two boons from Raja Dashrath and Maharaj. So she has asked for Rama to be sent to exile for 14 years and Bharat to be given the coronation and made the next heir apparent. So we'll continue from there onwards. Lord Rama is seeing his mother Kaushalya and just explaining to her mother that she should not lament that he has agreed to go to the forest for 14 years in exile, and she should stay okay and equipoised and wait for his return after 14 years. So we'll continue from there. Until then, Lakshman had controlled his rage. However, no longer able to remain silent, he suddenly burst out, "O Ram, our father has become senile and perverse. Being overpowered by lust, he has become a plaything in the hands of the wicked Kekai. Why should we passively stand by and accept this? A father, a king, or a spiritual master who cannot distinguish between what should and what should not be done must be rejected, Ram. You should take over the government immediately before everyone hears of king's decision to install Bharat. Besides, even if all the ministers and citizens have found out, if they are against your installation, I am prepared to annihilate the whole of Ayodhya if necessary. My dear mother, you should know that I at least am loyal to Ram. Indeed, I am ready to kill the foolish Dashrath if it is necessary to install Ram upon the throne." Kaushalya, however, did not care for kingdom. She only feared separation from her beloved son and said, "O Ram, please do not go into exile. It will be more virtuous for you to stay here. And please, your poor mother, than to go to the forest at the command of your father. If you leave Ayodhya, then I shall fast to death, for life will become unbearable for me." Ram replied, "Mother, it is not possible for me to disobey my father. Therefore, you must give me your permission so I may depart for the forest at once. The order of one's father can never be avoided. Just consider how Parshuram beheaded his own mother Renuka on the order of his father Jamdagni. Likewise, the sage Kandu killed a cow at his father's command. Therefore, I must obey my father." Turning to Lakshman, Ram said, "My dear brother, do not allow yourself to come under the sway of all-devouring wrath. Give up the idea of seizing the throne by force and accept the order of our father." Ram again addressed Kaushalya, "My dear mother, please do not torture yourself or talk of ending your life. After the term of my exile is over, I shall return to you. Therefore, please give me your blessing so I may depart without unnecessary remorse." Kaushalya, however, could only cry in desperation. Ram became stern and said, "My dear brother, as soon as Bharat is installed, all of this will be forgotten. Then you will be able to give up your grief. Do not blame Kaikeyi, for she is only an instrument in the hands of Providence, the real shaper of our destinies." So Lord Ram has said something very, very important here, that Kekai, Queen Kekai is just an instrument in the hands of Providence, the real shaper of our destinies. So we've heard that Kaushalya Mata, she wants that Ram should not be going to the exile. That is her most important, which is the biggest worry on her mind. She doesn't care for the coronation or anything. And Lord Rama's answer is so befitting, an answer coming from the Lord himself. Lakshman, on the other hand, is refusing to be pacified. He angrily retorted, "O Rama, it appears that you have become important, for you have given up your Kshatriya reliance on personal prowess and are just surrendering to destiny. I am not such a eunuch, however, and shall subdue fate by my own power. I shall install you on the royal throne this very day." Hearing this, Kaushalya could understand that nothing could deter Ram. She then pleaded, "O my son, if you are determined to execute your father's command, then please allow me to accompany you to the forest." Ram replied, "Dear mother, after being deceived by Kekai and then deserted by you, my father would certainly give up his life. The foremost duty of a chaste and virtuous wife is to never leave her husband under any circumstance. He is her lord as long as she lives." So we know that Lord Ram is the Maryada Purushottam. He lives by the ideals, and so he's telling even his own mother, he's instructing his own mother as well, just like we have read in Srimad Bhagavatam many times how Lord Kapila instruct his mother Devahuti. He is her lord for as long as she lives. Regardless of how noble or religious a woman may be, she commits sin if she fails to serve her husband. A wife's duty is to please and obey her husband and no one else. This is the verdict of all the scriptures. Please then remain with my father and wait for me, for I shall return after 14 years without fail. Kaushalya gave up all hope of accompanying Ram and finally agreed to give him her blessings. After giving permission to depart for the forest, Kaushalya induced the Brahmanas to perform sacrifices for her son's well-being. Kaushalya declared, "May you soon return so that my happiness will be restored. My righteousness be your protector. May the demigods protect you, and may the celestial weapons defend you. May heaven and earth, the air, the wind, the land and water, and all animate and inanimate beings protect you. May daytime and nighttime, the sun and the moon protect you. May you be happy, O Ram, for my blessings shall go with you." So Mother Kaushalya gave her permission, and then she blessed Lord Ram to go to forest as well, and she also got the Brahmanas together to conduct the sacrifices, perform sacrifices for her son's well-being. Sita had heard nothing of Ram's exile. She had been waiting for him in happy expectation for many hours. When Rama finally entered her room, Sita could immediately see that he was pale, perspiring, and greatly troubled. Ram was also not accompanied by his usual royal entourage. Sita inquired, "What is the matter?" Without hesitation, Ram replied, "My father has ordered me to leave the kingdom and to reside in the forest. Bharat is to be installed as the heir apparent to the royal throne, utilizing two boons given her long ago by my father. Kekai has asked that her son be installed while I am to be banished to the forest. My dear Sita, I have no other choice than to abide by my father's order. However, I want you to stay here, go daily and offer your respects at the feet of my father and follow Bharat's commands implicitly. My dearest, I have come here to just see you before departing for the forest." Hearing Ram's words, Sita grew increasingly agitated with anger born of love. She replied, "O Ram, my husband, most excellent of men, what advice are you giving me? It is the duty of the wife to share the husband's destiny. I must accompany you to the forest. Father, mother, brother, son, and daughter-in-law all have their separate existence. A wife, however, has no choice but to follow her husband. I cannot take refuge in anyone else, not even myself. My husband is my only refuge. Therefore, I am determined to follow you. I shall walk behind you and eat only after you have eaten. I shall never do anything to displease you, and I shall remain happy to gaze at the hills, lakes, and rivers. I will never become tired, for I will feel secure in your care. I would not want to live even in heaven if you are not there. O Ram, it is you alone that I love. Without you, I would surely die. Now, these are Mother Sita's pleas. Mother Sita's plea to Ram, when Lord Ram is saying to Mother Sita to stay back and let him go to the forest. Because of her frailty, Ram was not inclined to take Sita with him. Thus, in an attempt to discourage her, Ram said, "O delicate lady, one has to endure great discomfort while living in the forest. There are no soft beds to lie upon, and one has to bear the onslaught of excessive heat, cold, and torrential rain in the forest. One can only hope to eat fruits and roots. There is always danger from ferocious animals that stalk in search of prey. Considering these conditions, I could never allow you to accompany me to the forest." Ram's words of refusal made Sita tremble with fear at the prospect of separation from her lord. As pearl-like tears rolled down her cheeks like drops of water falling from lotus leaves, Sita said, "As long as I remain with you, any inconvenience or danger will be of no consequence. O Ram, without her husband, a wife cannot live. If you do not allow me to go with you, I shall give up my life by taking poison, entering fire, or drowning myself. Before my marriage, an astrologer predicted that I would have to spend part of my life in the forest. Therefore, my dear husband, I know it is my destiny to accompany you. To be with you is heaven, and without you is hell. Therefore, you must take me with you." Ram remained reluctant to allow Sita to accompany him to exile. Sita felt as though she were falling into a great abyss of calamity. Thus she became mad, fearing separation from her husband. Unable to tolerate the Ram's stubbornness any longer, she chastised him. "My father made a big mistake in choosing you for a son-in-law. How can you think of deserting your wife who married you before puberty? Are you going to leave her unprotected and exposed to the stares of others? The citizens of Ayodhya are fooled for declaring Ram is as splendid as the sun. His glories are without equal. I refuse to remain here alone while you go off to the forest. Either you take me with you, or I shall take poison and die." Crying bitterly, her heart tormented with grief, she was on the verge of fainting. Seeing her pitiful condition was more than Ram could bear. His heart softened, and he took his chaste wife Sita in his arms. Then he assured her that she could indeed accompany him. "Dear Sita," Ram said, "I only tried to dissuade you because I did not understand the true situation in your mind. Sita, I could no more abandon you than a wise man could give up his sense of compassion. How could I ever rest peacefully knowing that you were unhappy? Go then and give in charity all your valuables, clothes, jewels, and whatever you possess to the Brahmanas." So Ramchandraji has, Lord Rama has establish another ideal for all of us here. Now he has asked his wife that okay, she can accompany him because he doesn't want her to be unhappy in his absence. And now he's known her true state of mind, and even asked her to give all her valuables in charity to the Brahmanas, because they will be of no use to them, for they will be going to the forest. As Sita joyfully departed, Lakshman, who was standing at Ram's lotus feet with tear-filled eyes, he said, "O Ram, please allow me also to accompany you." Hoping to discourage Lakshman, Ram replied, "My dear brother, you must remain here and serve our two mothers, Kaushalya and Sumitra. Without your protection, they will be surely mistreated by Kekai." To this, Lakshman said, "Surely our brother Bharat will take care of everything. There's no need to be anxious for our mothers. Ram, as you traverse the forest, I shall walk in front with my bow in hand. allowing you and the daughter of the king of Videha, that is Sita, to enjoy the scenic delights. I will also gather fruits and roots as you sleep and stand nearby to guide you. So I think we will continue from here onwards. And I wish you all a very happy Ekadashi day ahead. And hopefully we'll be chanting one round of japa together later on. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.